Good morning, St. Paul. So sad to not be with you this morning, but we are happy to be celebrating our high school seniors. And so I just pray that you are well and just welcome you in worship during this time.
His never-ending love is steadfast and sure. He's broken our chains and given us freedom. Give thanks to God, for He is good. In Him we are alive and have joy everlasting. His never-ending love is steadfast and sure. He casts out our fear and fills us with courage. Give thanks to God, for He is good. When storms come and rage, His peace overwhelms us. His never-ending love is steadfast and sure. The Lord is our refuge when trouble surrounds us. Give thanks to God, for He is good. Give thanks to God, for He is good. He's always pouring out His abundant provision. His never-ending love is steadfast and sure. For the depths of His riches and incredible wisdom, give thanks to God, for He is good. 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 Give thanks to God, for He is good.
Good morning, St. Paul, and thank you so much for worshiping with us this morning. Today is our baccalaureate service, so we are celebrating our class of 2020, and we want to say congratulations to you guys for graduating. It's been an incredibly difficult year for you, so we just want to celebrate your accomplishments today.
Yes, and we wish that we were able to celebrate with you in person, but know that safety is our top priority. And with the rise in COVID cases and with the recommendation of our governor and our bishop, we have had to change our plans. And for the time being, we will not be worshiping in person. We'll keep you updated in the weeks to come as things change, but for now, we will be worshiping online. And our downtown traditional worship will be at 8:30 a.m. and our East Campus modern worship at 11:11, and both of these will be on Facebook and YouTube.
Yes, and we would love for you to take a moment right now to share this worship service to your Facebook page and invite your friends to worship with us and celebrate the class of 2020 with us. And I also want to remind you that if you want to get connected with us, whether you have a prayer request or maybe you want to get in contact with us, please fill out our online Connect card, which can be found at stpaulos.org/connect.
And we were so excited that our Vacation Bible School began this past week, and we hope that all of our families are having fun with those activities, and we hope that you've had a chance to watch our Scooby-Doo Bible Story video. If you haven't, go ahead and check that out at our St. Paul OS Kids Facebook page.
And we want to remind you that during this time, it is important that we continue to worship God through our giving. So if you want to give your tithes or offerings, you can mail them to P.O. Box 909, Ocean Springs, Mississippi, 39566, or you can give online at give.stpaulos.org. And we are so grateful for the generosity that you give to your church, and we want to partner with you as we seek to advance God's kingdom on this earth.
And now we have a video of our seniors sharing their next steps, and we want to commit as a church family to pray for them as they transition to their next seasons of life.
Hey guys, I'm Anderson Warwick, and I'm going to Mississippi State to pursue a degree in elementary education.
Hi, my name is Harrison Clark. I'm going to be attending Mississippi State University and majoring in international business.
My name is Jansen Prince. I currently attend MGCCC studying pre-veterinary science. In the next 2 years, I'll be transferring to the University of Central Florida to continue my studies.
Hey guys, my name is Anna Brooke Lee, and I'm going to Mississippi State University, and I'm majoring in social work.
I'm Mitchell Bowie. I will be attending Mississippi State University, and I will be majoring in mechanical engineering.
Hey, my name is Matthew Strunk. I'm going to Ole Miss in the fall, and I'm majoring in accounting.
I'm Alexander White. I'll be attending Ole Miss in the Honors College, and I'll be doing CME, and I'm majoring in biomedical engineering.
Hello, my name is Dalton Henderson. I plan to attend MGCCC in the fall and pursue civil engineering. My name is Grant Watson. I'm going to Ole Miss, and I'm undecided major.
My name is Wesley Elliott. I'm going to East Mississippi Community College to get a degree in history, then continue on to study law.
My name is Kirsten Glass. I'm going to Mississippi State University in the fall to major in microbiology with concentration in pre-medicine.
My name is Aiden Cochran, and I'm going to Mississippi Gulf Coast Community College for construction management.
Hi, I'm Luke Fletcher. I'm going to Mississippi State University, and I'm studying mechanical engineering.
Hey y'all, my name is Elizabeth Strong, and I'm going to be attending Mississippi State University in the fall, majoring in fashion design and merchandising with a minor in business.
Yay!
Hey y'all, my name is Jordan Cook. I'm going to the University of Southern Mississippi, and I'm majoring in kinesiotherapy.
Hey y'all, I'm Amelia Carmichael, and I'll be heading to Mississippi State in the fall, and I'll be majoring in nursing.
Hi, my name is Bass Reynolds, and I'm going to Mississippi State for aerospace engineering.
I'm Ryan Kaufman, and I'm going to Mississippi State University to major in mechanical engineering.
My name is Deuce Noblett. I will be attending South Alabama in the fall and majoring in accounting.
My name is Alexis Kathleen DeWire, and I'm attending MGCCC, majoring in radiology.
In the presence of my enemies,
Good morning, everybody. My name is Taylor Parsons, and I'm the Director of Student Ministry here. And this is our baccalaureate service, and now I know for my next global pandemic just to cancel it the first time. We are glad to be celebrating our seniors today in a little bit of a different way than we imagined, but that is okay. We're going to be talking a lot about dreams today, and I am thinking maybe this is a blessing in disguise for me because I was a little bit worried about making it all the way through this thing without crying, but without having to make any eye contact with any of the seniors, I'm feeling okay, feeling pretty good. So today we're going to be talking about dreams, like I said, and dreams are a big part of the chapter that not only the seniors are in, but all of us are in. The seniors might have received some cards in the mail from relatives, maybe that aunt that you only kind of think about at Thanksgiving, only really see then, and the card says something like, dream on, go chase your dream, now is the time to dream, something like that. And if you're like I was my senior year, you do what I did and you kind of pop the card open, blow through it, pull the check out and move on with your business. But dreams are super important to where we are today. Dreaming is something that we only think about in the abstract most of the time, but today we're going to be talking about the dreams that God has placed in each of us. So we're going to be looking at the story of Joseph. It's found in the book of Genesis, and this is one of my favorite stories in the Bible. I think it's because it's kind of like One Tree Hill or Riverdale. It's almost like a teen drama, the whole thing. It's like telenovela drama the whole time. It's fast-paced, it moves quickly, but we're going to be moving even faster. We're going to take it kind of from a bird's eye view today. So, quick synopsis. Joseph has several brothers, but he is his father's favorite. His father's name is Jacob, and he gets renamed Israel. If you don't know why that's important, take a peek at the book of Genesis. It's a really interesting book, and kind of follow that storyline. It's really a cool one, but we don't have time to totally dive into it today. So the reason that Joseph is his father's favorite is for some baby mama drama that, again, we don't have time to get into today, but I'm telling you, interesting stuff. Check it out. So, Joseph has all this favor from his father, and his brothers get pretty jealous. And this favor makes him kind of an arrogant guy. He's 17 years old when this story begins, and he handles that pride in the way that we would imagine a 17-year-old would. So he has this dream, and he tells his brothers about it. And we have a video of Deuce Noblet reading this story for us, reading this dream for us. So we'll let Deuce read it for us.
When his brothers saw that their father loved him more than any of them, they hated him and could not speak a kind word to him. Joseph had a dream, and when he told it to his brothers, they hated him all the more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. We were binding sheaves of grain out in the field when suddenly my sheaf from and stood upright, while your sheaves gathered around mine and bowed down to it." His brothers said to him, "Do you intend to reign over us? Will you actually rule us?" And they hated him all the more because of his dream and what he had said. Then he had another dream, and he told it to his brothers. "Listen," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and 11 stars bowing down to me." When he told his father as well as his brothers, his father said to him, "What is this dream you had? Will your mother and I and your brothers actually bow down to you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind.
So this guy is super arrogant. Hey, everybody, you're going to be bowing down to me. Mom, dad, brothers, everybody, you're going to be bowing down. Don't know when it's coming, but get excited. Like, no one wants to hear this, especially from the brother that you're already envious from. Several times in the word it says, "And they hated him all the more." So if you're familiar with this story, you might know what comes next. The brothers gather up and they're like, "You know what? Let's kill him." And they get into this whole plan. And then one brother says, "Let's take it easy on him. Let's sell him into slavery." So as you can imagine, you're up to bad news when slavery feels like an upgrade. So as you can see, the story is just full of pivots, full of ups and downs. And as a reader, you keep thinking, surely this guy won't make it through this one too. But as the Lord keeps teaching him and Joseph keeps being shaped by these experiences, he conquers every high and every low. So Joseph is taken into Egypt, and he kind of works his way up the ranks. He's working for this guy named Potiphar, who's like a bigwig of the Pharaoh. So Scripture tells us that the Lord was with Joseph, and he found success. So Potiphar notices that the Lord is with Joseph, and he continues to just keep climbing. So we're going to do a PG version of this one, but Potiphar's wife sees Joseph, and she's like, that's a good-looking young man, young stallion over here. I'm going to start hollering at him. And Joseph's like, this isn't right. We're not going to do this. Potiphar's wife gets pretty embarrassed and makes up this whole lie that Joseph attempted to be inappropriate with her, and Joseph is thrown in jail. I told you guys, telenovela. So Joseph goes from top to the bottom, jail bottom, and if you've wondered where we're getting back to the dreams portion of the story, it's coming in hot right here. Joseph is sitting in jail with two other people. He's kind of become like a bigwig in jail, so he's even climbed his way up there. But these people are huge in turning Joseph's life around. There are two people that have dreams, and Joseph serves as an interpreter. So Amelia Carmichael is going to read that passage for us. We're continuing in the book of Genesis here.
But while Joseph was in prison, the Lord was with him. He showed him kindness and granted him favors in the eyes of the wardens. So the warden put Joseph in charge of all of those held in prison, and he was made responsible for all that was done there. Sometime later, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt offended their master, the king of Egypt. Pharaoh was angry with his two officials, the chief cupbearer and the chief baker, and put them in custody of the house of the captain of the guard, in the same prison where Joseph was confined. The captain of the guard assigned them to Joseph, and he attended them. And one night they both dreamed, the cupbearer and the baker of the king of Egypt, who were confined in the prison. Each his own dream, and each dream with its own interpretation. When Joseph came to them in the morning, he saw that they were troubled. So he asked Pharaoh's officers who were with him in custody in his master's house, "Why are your faces downcast today?" They said to him, "We have had dreams, and there's no one to interpret them." And Joseph said to them, "Do not interpretations belong to God? Please tell them to me." So the chief cupbearer told his dream to Joseph and said to him, "In my dream there was a vine before me, and on the vine there were 3 branches. As soon as it budded, its blossoms shot forth, and the clusters ripened into grapes. Pharaoh's cup was in my hand, and I took the grapes and pressed them into Pharaoh's cup, and placed the cup into Pharaoh's hand." Then Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 branches are 3 days. In 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head and restore you in your office. And you shall place Pharaoh's cup in his hand as formerly when you were his cupbearer. Only remember me when it is well with you, and please do me the kindness to mention me to Pharaoh, and so get me out of this house. For I was indeed stolen from the land of the Hebrews, and here also I have done nothing that should put me into the pit." When the chief baker saw that the interpretation was favorable, he said to Joseph, "I also had a dream. There were 3 cake baskets on my head, and in the uppermost basket there were all sorts of baked goods for Pharaoh, but the birds were eating out of the basket on my head." And Joseph said to him, "This is its interpretation. The 3 baskets are 3 days. In 3 days Pharaoh will lift up your head from you and hang you on a tree, and the birds will eat the flesh from you. On the 3rd day, which was Pharaoh's birthday, he made a feast for all of his servants and lifted up the heads of the chief cupbearer and the head of the chief baker among his servants. He restored the chief cupbearer to his position, and he placed the cup on Pharaoh's hand. But he hung the chief baker as Joseph had interpreted to them. Yet the chief cupbearer did not remember Joseph, but forgot him."
So Joseph interprets and is forgotten. He's promoted, and then he's humbled again. This guy can't catch a break for long if he does it all. So then Pharaoh has a dream, and the cupbearer's like, "Hold up, wait, I know a guy. I can be helpful here." And so they go grab Joseph, and he interprets a dream for Pharaoh as well that becomes hugely important to the story. So Anna Brooke is going to read this passage for us.
Said to Joseph, "Behold, in my dream I was standing on the banks of the Nile. 7 cows, plump and attractive, came up out of the Nile and fed in the reed grass. 7 other cows came up after them, poor and very ugly and thin, such as I had never seen in all the land of Egypt. And the thin, ugly cows ate up the first 7 plump cows, but when they had eaten them, no one would have known they had eaten them, for they were still as ugly as at the beginning. Then I awoke. I also saw in my dream 7 ears growing on one stalk, full and good. 7 ears, withered, thin, and blighted by the east wind, sprouted after them. And the thin ears swallowed up the 7 good ears, and I told it to the magicians, but there was no one who could explain it to me. Then Joseph said to Pharaoh, The dreams of Pharaoh are one. God has revealed to Pharaoh what he is about to do. The 7 good cows are for 7 years, and the 7 good ears are for 7 years. The dreams are one. The 7 lean and ugly cows that came up after them are 7 years, and the 7 empty ears blighted by the east wind are also 7 years of famine. It is as I told Pharaoh. God has shown to Pharaoh what he is about to do. There will come 7 years of great plenty through all the land of Egypt, but after them there will arise 7 years of famine, and all the plenty will be forgotten in the land of Egypt. The famine will consume the land, and the plenty will be unknown in the land by the reason of the famine that will follow, for it will be very severe. And the doubling of Pharaoh's dreams means that the thing is fixed by God, and God will shortly bring it about. Now therefore let Pharaoh select a discerning and wise man, and set him over the land of Egypt. Let Pharaoh proceed to appoint overseers over the land, and take 1/5 of the produce of the land of Egypt during the 7 plentiful years. And let them gather all the food of these good years that are coming, and store up grain under the authority of Pharaoh for food in the cities, and let them keep it. The food shall be a reserve for the land against the 7 years of famine that are to occur in the land of Egypt, so that the land may not pay.
So big time win for Joseph here. He is second in command in Egypt. He is ruling Egypt as a Hebrew, which would have been a big controversy at the time. So as the story closes out, Joseph's family comes to Egypt trying to get food. And obviously, after all this time, they don't recognize him. They don't understand that the brother that they sold into slavery has ended up in this position. So after a few more small plot twists that, again, we're going to skim for the sake of time, they discover that this is their brother indeed. This is their brother who is now in leadership. So they apologize for the wrong that they've done him, and he provides food for them. So their interaction is found in Genesis 50. Israel tells his sons, "This is what you will say to Joseph. I ask you to forgive your brothers the sins and wrongs they've committed in treating you so badly. Now please forgive the sins of the servants of the God of your father." When their message came to Joseph, he wept. His brothers then came and threw themselves down before him. "We are your slaves." But Joseph said to them, "Do not be afraid. Am I put in the place of God? You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives. So don't be afraid. I will provide for you and for your children." So the dream came true. It didn't look like Joseph thought it would when he was 17, but it came true all the same. As believers, we often have dreams that are from God too, right? Maybe we're not talking about like night, had a good dream, but God gives us desires that come from him. Maybe they're short-term dreams, like I dream of graduating from college. Maybe they feel a little deeper. I dream of my family finding healing. Maybe they're specific occupational dreams. I dream of being a doctor. I dream of being a lawyer. If you're walking with God, he has had a hand in giving you that dream. The more we get to know God, his dreams and desires for our lives become our desires for our lives as well. But what can we learn from Joseph and his dream? When Joseph had his dream of his brothers bowing down to him, there was arrogance attached. He presented this dream to show his own superiority. Even though this dream came from God, Joseph wasn't ready to live into it yet. Joseph had to endure some serious humbling before he was ready for his dream. When our dreams come into reality, they look different than we thought that they would. At 17 years old, Joseph had no idea the struggle that was coming for him. He had no idea all the change that he would endure before he saw this dream come into fruition. A dream that Joseph thought would come true at any time took over 30 years to come true. And instead of feeling smug and superior about his position of authority, we might assume that Joseph felt a complex pain. He felt the freedom of forgiveness, sure, but it was attached to the pain his brothers gave him in their betrayal. He saw coming so little of what the reality was around him. When Joseph was ready for this dream to be reality, it looked different than he thought it would. When our dreams come into reality, the journey is harder than we thought it would be. Have you ever been humbled by the Lord and you think, man, I really wish I could have read a book on this, or I could have listened to a podcast on this instead of learning this the hard way? I imagine that Joseph might have felt the same way. He never expected the trials he would face in order to become the man that God intended for him to be. Joseph's character was drastically changed. He gained so much wisdom that he was able to see his dream not through arrogance, but through God's providence. He knew that the only way that he ended up in the position he was in was through God's hand literally covering him and protecting him all the way. So quick recap: betrayed, slavery, jail time, false accusations, forgotten, all while dealing with the original trauma of betrayal. God used that pain to shape Joseph into a man who pointed to God for glory instead of himself. When our dreams come into reality, they are better than we thought that they would be. Better might not be by human metrics, but it will be better by God's. In the original dream, Joseph's ego was smothering the entire story. Joseph did get some glory in the end, like his dream had said, but at a high cost. The dream wasn't actually about him at all. The dream was about the saving of the family line of Jesus. Before God could take this dream and make it happen, he had to strip it of ego and idolatry. God takes our dreams of our own glory, and through waiting, pain, and growth, he makes them vehicles for his own glory. When these dreams get stripped of all of our motivations and our selfishness, they're down to the bare bones of God's essence. We become the kind of people that can actually steward that gift. So how do we know that this is true for us too? How do we know that Joseph's story is our story too? So we're about to get real honest up in here, so get ready. When I was in the 7th grade, I felt the Lord simultaneously calling me into relationship with him and into youth ministry. As any immature 7th grader would, I thought that this point might make me special, and it might be something worth bragging on, but in really subtle ways, so no one knew it was bragging. It was just me sharing my heart. But through years of humbling and God shaping me in all kinds of brokenness, sin, doubt, pride, and pain, I came up here. In my time at St. Paul, this dream looked different than I thought it would. I came into a new town by myself. Do y'all know how many 20-somethings live in Ocean Springs? It's not many. I came into a completely new youth group with a very interesting dynamic with all types of students. I came into a part of the state I never saw myself in. I don't know if y'all know, but the coast is kind of foreign territory to the rest of Mississippi. So much of this dream looked different than I thought that it would. It was harder than I thought it would be too, both the journey to get here and the dream itself. As you will all have to do in college and in years beyond, I had to learn to sit in silence with the Lord and be okay with it. I had to learn that he brings about beauty from brokenness, and I had to learn that who I am comes first from the Lord. I had to learn that we have to know that Jesus is enough because sometimes he will feel like all that we have. But perhaps the biggest way that I know that Joseph's story is true for me too is that the dream has been better than I thought that it would be, better than I could have hoped or dreamed on my own. And much of that is because of this senior class. I expected to teach, and I was taught. I expected to be the gardener, and I got watered lots. The Lord made a way for me to be here in this place, and that the friendships that I would make with these seniors and so many other students would be friendships that point back to Jesus. Seniors, you have let me into your lives. You have led this group with consistency and kindness. You have sat with those who needed friends, and you've been the first to speak. We've shared lots of pancakes, mostly burnt ones, lots of meaningful conversations, lots of wins and losses. But because of you and other students here at St. Paul, I know that our God makes the reality of our dreams even better than the dreams themselves. At the end of Joseph's story, his brothers apologize for the wrong that they've done him, and Joseph says this: "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." As we send you into this next chapter, it's easy for us to gloss over the struggle that's coming next. You will have some of your highest highs, but I feel that I'm selling you short if I don't warn you of the lows too. But know that in all things, God can make good. Keep walking toward your dream, and remember that God is shaping you all the while. I love you, seniors. I am so proud of each of you. I can't wait to see where this next dream leads, and I made it through it without crying. I've gotten to tell you all about dreams, but Mitchell and Harrison are going to tell you about how they've seen God change things for good. So please watch their next video.
Hi, St. Paul. How are y'all doing? My name's Harrison Clark, and I'm going to be talking a little bit about Genesis 50 today. I know this baccalaureate speech isn't how it was intended. I know we were supposed to be in church and I was supposed to give it live, but because of circumstances with coronavirus, I know it's going to look a little different, but I'm thankful that we have these resources and that we were still able to present our speech and present and have some sort of baccalaureate service. And for Taylor, I'm really thankful that this is still able to happen. I'm going to be talking about Genesis 50, lines 20 through 21. It said, "You intended to harm me, but God intended it for good, to accomplish what is now being done, the saving of many lives." Basically what this is mean and what my task was to find something that God put in my life that is viewed as sort of a bad thing or something that is doing harm in my life, but what God has intended or what will be intended to either make me stronger or provide something good within my life. Now, when I came across this topic, I couldn't find a whole lot that was wrong in my life except for coronavirus. You know, as a senior and a teenager in today's day and age, it did hit me a little hard, you know. When I look back at coronavirus and what it has taken from me, it has taken my senior year. So when I look at this, you know, I didn't get the prom, I didn't get to dance with my mom for the senior night. I didn't get a senior trip, and I didn't get a graduation. I didn't get to walk across the stage with my friends and see all my friends and raise our hats together. But at the end of the day, I realized that I don't say this for pity. I don't say this to think that I have it worse than anybody else. Because at the end of the day, I realized that none of that truly mattered. Of course it sucked, and I know that it wasn't the best situation, but when I look at what happened and why God did it, and I think back on the issues of my life throughout this coronavirus, it's very minute. It doesn't matter. You know, I missed some fun times my senior year, but I'm still here. You know, I'm still kicking, and I'm still doing my duty. And when I look at why God put this here, or why what issue I'm having with it, I just think to myself that my issues are so much smaller than many people's lives. You know, people are dying every day, and I've been given the choice to have my family with me. I've been given the opportunity to have all my loved ones around me. You know, I am completely blessed with what I've been given. Throughout this, I think that not only have I persevered, but I've been stronger because of it. Coronavirus has really made me into the man I think I am today. I think it's put me in a unique position to be able to understand empathy as well as hurt, and to really know what is right and count on what is right. So not only do I think that God has intended this for good for me, I think that He is helping me find the good within this coronavirus. So I want to take a little bit of this time now to thank St. Paul Youth and to thank the church as a whole for giving me the opportunity that it has given me. I couldn't have done what I've done throughout my entire life without them. They've given me the one gift that I pray everybody has, and that is a walk with Jesus Christ. I'm truly blessed. I'm truly thankful for everything that St. Paul has given me, especially St. Paul Youth. They've given me family, friends, everything I've needed. They've never backed down, and if you ever want anything to do with this church, I truly, truly recommend it. Thank you so much.
I know we planned on doing Baccalaureate in person, but just like much of 2020, plans change. Plans change, and we have to adapt. We have to adapt as people and as a church. And we did, as seen by my face on the video screen. But my point is this: even during the midst of a global pandemic, St. Paul is still here. Still doing Sunday morning church services, still doing Bible studies, still doing youth, still doing VBS. And although these things have changed, we still have them. St. Paul continues to bring us closer to God even though we can't even leave our house. And it is all because of the people we have here, the people that have made St. Paul my second home. I've grown up in this church, and I've seen many people come and go, but I've always seen this congregation as a family. We're a loving, inviting, and innovative church, and that's why I'm proud to be a part of St. Paul. As I begin to go into the abyss of adulthood, I know one thing. I know that St. Paul has instilled in me the tools that I need to have a relationship with God, the tools that I need to live a meaningful and worthy life, and that is a gift that I can never repay.
Dear Father, we pray. As we walk across the stage in celebration of the culmination of years of hard work and perseverance and the anticipation of starting the new life that lies before each of us, let us not forget our blessings and the many things we are grateful for. For this school that has given us a safe place to learn and a strong foundation to build upon. For our teachers who have so richly loved and cared for us even at our worst. For our administrators who have poured nothing but love into an uncertain situation to make it memorable for all of us. For our families who have cheered us on to the finish line and encouraged us the whole way through. And I especially thank you for my peers who have become more than just classmates, but rather a family that I will forever cherish. I pray that you lead each and every one of us in the direction you have planned for us. And as we move on to bigger and better things, I ask that you remind us to count our blessings and show us that there's always something to be grateful for. Let us love one another as you have commanded, and let us continue to walk with the dignity, grace, and wisdom that you have instilled in each of us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Worthy of every song we could ever sing, worthy of all the praise we could ever bring, worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me in your love to those around me. Worthy of every song we could ever sing. Worthy of all the praise we could ever bring. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Jesus, the name above every other name. Jesus, the only one who could ever save. Worthy of every breath we could ever breathe. We live for you. Oh, we live for you. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes in wonder.
2020 seniors of St. Paul United Methodist Church, I want to commend you for your achievement. We are so proud of your accomplishments, which of course we're recognizing this day. May God's blessing be upon you. There's a wonderful word in Jeremiah that I'd like to share with you in the Old Testament. It might take me just a moment to find it. So as I'm doing that, let me tell you about some words that also came to mind this week when I was watching Hamilton on Disney Plus, the stage production of Hamilton that I bet some of you saw as well. There's a song that I'm moved by in there that's sung by the father of our country, George Washington, and he talks about history has its eyes on you. He's talking to Hamilton. He said, history has its eyes on you. History has its eyes on you, and he talks about his sense of failure of leading men into a massacre when he was younger than Hamilton as a leader, and how that failure has made him mindful of his responsibility and all that he brings to the table, always mindful that a greater power and that history itself has its eye on him. That's what I want to say to you. History has its eye on you, young men and women. The COVID generation, the graduates of 2020, young men and women of Jackson County who graduated in a different way when COVID-19 broke out. History will be watching you, what you deal with, what you encounter, what you achieve, how you live your lives. I want you to be encouraged in the power and help of God, that not only does history have its eyes on you, but God has his hand on you. God will be with you always. There's a great blessing that we sometimes share in church, and it goes along with this text of Jeremiah 29:11 that I want to share as well. For surely I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, plans for your welfare and not for your harm, to give you a future with hope. Then when you call upon me and come and pray to me, I will hear you. When you search for me, you will find me if you seek me with all your heart. And so I would say to Harrison and Mitchell and Anna and Grant and Alexis and Elizabeth and Matthew and Aniston and Deuce and Wesley and Dalton and Jansen and Amelia and Jordan and Ryan and Aiden and Sebastian and Alexander and Kirsten and Luke. May the power of God, the peace of God go with you wherever he may lead you. May he guide you through the wilderness, protect you through the storm, because those things will come. But may he bring you home, regrouped and rejoicing at the wonders he will show you, and all the wonders you will also behold. Some of those wonders you will help bring about by being someone's hero or given opportunities over and over to help someone else be a hero. God bless you in that journey. May the peace of our Lord Jesus be with you. Amen.
So hallelujah, in the presence of my enemies.